She lived in a small house. It wasn't much to look at. Faded paint peeled from the walls. The roof had seen better days. Inside, furniture bore the marks of time, each scratch telling a story. But within those walls, love resided. Her laughter filled the air, chasing away any shadows. The aroma of her cooking, simple yet made with care, welcomed you in. She had little in the way of material possessions, yet her spirit shone brighter than any diamond. Her name was Sarah. Life had dealt her a hand short on luxury, but abundant in love. She embraced it fully. Sarah understood that true wealth wasn't measured in possessions. It was found in the warmth of a home filled with kindness, laughter, and love. Sarah's days were filled with the simple rhythms of life. She tended to her small garden, coaxing life from the earth. Her hands, roughened by work, moved with a grace born of love as she mended clothes. Each stitch held a silent prayer for her family's well-being. Evenings were for gathering around the old radio, its static-filled music a source of shared joy. Sarah would tell stories, her voice soothing, her eyes twinkling with mischief and love. These were the moments that mattered. These were the riches she cherished. Her children, though young, understood. They knew their mother possessed a wealth far greater than money could buy. It was a wealth of spirit, a generosity of heart that knew no bounds. Sarah's life was a testament to the power of love. She taught her children that happiness wasn't found in having the most, but in giving the most. Kindness, she believed, was the greatest gift one could offer. It cost nothing but enriched the giver and receiver alike. She instilled in them the importance of empathy, of seeing the world through the eyes of others. Her lessons were simple but profound. They were the foundation upon which their lives would be built. The world often celebrates material wealth. The pursuit of possessions can overshadow the true treasures in life. Sarah's story serves as a poignant reminder. True wealth lies not in what we own, but in the love we share, the kindness we extend, and the legacy we leave behind. This essay explores the extraordinary love of an ordinary woman. Sarah's story is a beacon of hope, reminding us that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can triumph. Through her actions, she redefined wealth, proving that a mother's love is the most precious gift of all. We will delve into the heart of her home, witnessing the everyday moments that revealed her extraordinary love. Through heartwarming anecdotes and poignant observations, we will uncover the depth of her compassion, the strength of her character, and the enduring power of her love. Join us as we celebrate Sarah's life, a life that serves as an inspiration to us all. For in her humble existence we discover the true meaning of wealth, the essence of family, and the boundless capacity of a mother's heart. Each morning, Sarah woke with the sun. It streamed through the cracks in the worn blinds, painting stripes of gold across the floorboards. She rose, her movements a familiar dance. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of dew-kissed grass. She moved quietly, careful not to wake her children. A smile bloomed on Sarah's face, soft as the first light of dawn. It was a smile that held weariness, yet shone with inner strength. This was her sanctuary, filled with the love of her children. Here, amidst the chipped paint and worn furniture, she found her purpose. Here she was rich beyond measure. With a deep breath, Sarah began her day, her heart overflowing with love. Her smile lingered in the air, a silent blessing on her sleeping children. For Sarah knew that even in hardship, a smile could light the darkest corners. Life wasn't always easy. There were days when the weight of their circumstances pressed down on them like a heavy cloak. Days when the cupboards were bare and the threat of rain loomed over their leaky roof. But even then, Sarah's smile never wavered. It was a beacon of hope in the storm, a reminder that even in the darkest of times there was still beauty to be found. Her children, sensing her unwavering spirit, would find their own smiles returning. The fear would recede, replaced by a quiet resilience, a determination to face whatever challenges life threw their way. Sarah's smiles were a language all their own. They spoke of strength and resilience, of hope and unwavering love. They were a silent promise, whispered on the wind, a reassurance that no matter what, they would face it together, as a family. And in that unity, forged in the fires of hardship, and bound together by a mother's unwavering love, they found a strength that no storm could shake. It wasn't just the grand gestures, the sacrifices Sarah made daily that spoke volumes of her love. It was the everyday moments, the small acts of kindness that painted a vivid picture of her golden heart. A warm smile greeting her children when they awoke, chasing away the shadows of sleep. A gentle hand brushing away a stray tear, a silent acknowledgement of their unspoken worries. The way she listened, truly listened, her eyes reflecting their joys and sorrows as if they were her own. These seemingly insignificant acts wove a tapestry of love, each thread a testament to the depth of her affection. Her smiles were never forced, never a mask to hide her own anxieties. They were genuine expressions of a love that ran deeper than words, a love that found joy in the simplest of moments, a love that weathered every storm. And in those smiles her children found solace and strength, a reminder that they were loved, cherished, and never alone in the face of life's challenges. Sarah's smiles were a language understood by all. They transcended words, bridging the gaps that sometimes existed between them. When words failed, her smiles spoke volumes. They were a source of comfort during times of heartbreak, a silent cheer during moments of triumph, a beacon of hope when the road ahead seemed uncertain. They were a reminder that love, pure and unwavering, could conquer all. Her children, in turn, learned the power of a smile. They understood that even in the face of adversity, a simple smile could hold the world at bay. It could mend broken hearts, soothe troubled minds, and inspire hope where there was none. It was a lesson they carried with them long after they left the shelter of her love, a legacy far more valuable than any material possession. For Sarah taught them that a smile was a universal language, understood by all, a language that spoke of love, resilience, and the unbreakable bond between a mother and her children. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Sarah's smiles continued to weave their magic. They became an integral part of their lives, threads of gold woven into the tapestry of their shared experiences. Each smile held a memory, a story, a testament to the unwavering love that bound them together. There were smiles of shared joy, bursts of laughter that filled their small home with a warmth that belied its humble exterior. Smiles of comfort offered freely in moments of pain and uncertainty, a silent promise that they would weather the storm together. And smiles of pride, beaming with maternal love as she witnessed her children grow into kind, compassionate individuals. These smiles, freely given and cherished deeply, became a part of who they were, shaping their perspectives, influencing their interactions with the world. They learned that a smile could be a powerful force, a catalyst for connection, a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in darkness. And so they carried Sarah's legacy of love with them, their own smiles reflecting the warmth, generosity, and unwavering spirit of the extraordinary woman who had taught them the true meaning of wealth. The day's work was done. Sarah sat by the window, the last rays of the setting sun painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Her hands, roughened by years of toil, rested in her lap, her needlework momentarily forgotten. Her gaze fell upon her children playing in the yard, their laughter carried on the gentle breeze. But beneath the surface of their carefree play, Sarah sensed a change in her eldest Mary. Gone was the usual exuberance, replaced by a quiet thoughtfulness that tugged at Sarah's heart. She knew that behind those bright eyes a storm was brewing, a storm of emotions that Mary, still so young, struggled to understand. As the sky deepened into twilight and the children, weary from their play, made their way inside, Sarah prepared their simple meal. Her movements were measured, her touch gentle, her heart heavy with a mother's intuition. She knew that tonight Mary needed more than just nourishment for her body. She needed the sustenance only a mother's love could provide. And so Sarah waited, her heart a haven of understanding, ready to listen without judgment, to offer comfort without words, and to love without reservation. Dinner was a quiet affair. The usual chatter and laughter were replaced by a heavy silence that hung in the air like a shroud. Mary, usually so eager to share the day's adventures, picked at her food, her gaze fixed on some distant point beyond the walls of their humble home. Her younger brother, oblivious to the undercurrent of tension, chattered on about his day, his words washing over Mary like waves against a distant shore. Sarah listened patiently, her heart aching for her daughter's unspoken pain. She knew that forcing Mary to speak would only serve to push her further into herself, so she waited, her silence a comforting presence, a silent promise that she was there, ready to listen when Mary was ready to share the weight of her unspoken words. As the last rays of daylight faded and the shadows in the room grew longer, Sarah cleared the table, her movements slow and deliberate, each clink of a plate a gentle reminder of her presence, a silent beacon in the gathering darkness. Later that evening, as the moon cast long silvery fingers through the cracks in the blinds, Mary finally spoke. Her voice, small and hesitant at first, gradually gained strength as she poured out her heart to her mother. She spoke of friendships lost and dreams shattered, of the confusion and pain that come with growing up. And through it all, Sarah listened. She listened with her heart, her silence speaking volumes. She didn't interrupt with platitudes or offer unsolicited advice. She simply listened, her eyes reflecting Mary's pain as if it were her own, her silence a testament to the depth of her love and understanding. For Sarah knew that sometimes the greatest gift we can offer another is not our words, but our presence, our willingness to simply be present with them in their pain, to hold space for their suffering without judgment or expectation. And in that shared silence, a bond was forged, a connection deeper than words could ever express. As the night wore on and Mary's words tumbled out in a torrent of emotion, Sarah offered words of comfort and wisdom. She spoke of the cyclical nature of life, of the ebb and flow of joy and sorrow, of the importance of resilience and the healing power of time. She shared stories of her own experiences, of times when she had faced adversity and emerged stronger, her spirit unbroken. And slowly, as the night gave way to the first light of dawn, Mary's tears subsided, replaced by a glimmer of hope in her eyes. The weight of her unspoken words had been lifted, replaced by the comforting knowledge that she was not alone, that her mother understood, and that together they would find a way through the darkness. And as the sun rose, painting the sky in hues of pink and gold, Sarah knew that their bond had been strengthened, their love deepened by the shared experience of listening and being heard. Life in their humble home continued. There were still challenges to be faced, obstacles to be overcome. But Sarah had imparted a valuable lesson to her daughter that night, a lesson that transcended words and spoke to the very core of their being. She had taught Mary the enduring power of listening, the transformative nature of true empathy. She had shown her that sometimes the greatest gift we can offer another is simply our presence, our willingness to listen without judgment and love without reservation. And in that gift, Mary discovered a strength she never knew she possessed, a resilience that would carry her through life's inevitable storms. For she knew that no matter what life threw her way, she could always count on her mother's listening ears, her open heart, and her unwavering love. Winter had come. A blanket of snow covered their small town, the silence broken only by the crunch of footsteps. Inside their humble home, a fire crackled, casting flickering shadows, but the warmth did little to dispel the chill in Sarah's heart. The cupboard stood starkly vacant. Winter's grip had made it difficult to find work, and their food had dwindled to nothing. Her children, pale with hunger, huddled closer to the fire. Sarah, her heart aching, fought back tears. She had always shielded them, her optimism a beacon of hope. But tonight, the weight of their situation pressed down on her, threatening to extinguish her spirit. Yet even as despair loomed, Sarah clung to hope. She would find a way to provide for her children. Their well-being was her purpose, their happiness her driving force. She would not let them down. Nightfall brought with it a biting wind that howled like a hungry beast. Sarah tucked her children into their beds, their small bodies shivering beneath the thin blankets. As she kissed their foreheads, their faces pale and drawn, a silent promise formed in her heart. She would find a way. Leaving her children sleeping soundly, Sarah bundled herself in her worn shawl, the only protection she had against the bitter cold. The moon, a sliver of silver in the inky sky, cast long, eerie shadows as she made her way through the deserted streets. Her destination was the bakery on the edge of town, its windows dark, its ovens long since grown cold. Sarah knew the baker, a kind man with a heart as big as his sourdough loaves, often left unsold bread out back for those less fortunate. It was a long shot, a desperate plea whispered into the icy wind, but it was all Sarah had. Her steps, heavy with fatigue and worry, quickened as she approached the bakery, her heart pounding in her chest. Reaching the back of the bakery, Sarah's heart sank. The usually overflowing bin, a beacon of hope for the town's less fortunate, was empty. The icy wind seemed to mock her with its hollow laughter, and for a moment despair threatened to overwhelm her. But as she turned to leave, her gaze fell upon a small brown paper bag tucked discreetly behind the bin. Her heart leaped with a mixture of hope and disbelief as she reached for the bag, her cold fingers trembling with anticipation. Inside, she found a loaf of bread, still warm from the oven, and a small block of cheese, carefully wrapped in wax paper. Tears, hot and wet, streamed down Sarah's face as she clutched the bag to her chest, her heart overflowing with gratitude. It wasn't much, but it was enough. Enough to nourish her children's bodies and, more importantly, enough to remind her that even in the darkest of times, kindness and compassion could still be found. The baker, a silent guardian angel, had unknowingly offered them a lifeline, a testament to the enduring power of human kindness. Hurrying back home, Sarah's heart felt lighter than it had in days. The bread, tucked safely beneath her shawl, warmed her not only with its heat, but with the knowledge that her children would eat tonight. The world, so bleak and unforgiving only moments before, now seemed filled with possibility. Reaching their small home, she wasted no time in building up the fire and preparing a simple meal. The aroma of freshly baked bread filled the air, chasing away the lingering scent of despair. Her children, awakened by the warmth and the promise of food, emerged from their makeshift beds, their eyes widening with surprise and delight. That night, as they gathered around the table, their faces illuminated by the flickering candlelight, Sarah witnessed a profound truth. It wasn't the grand gestures, the extravagant displays of wealth and generosity that truly mattered. It was the small acts of kindness, the selfless sacrifices made out of love that had the power to transform lives. The bakers' simple act of charity had not only filled their stomachs, but had nourished their souls, reminding them that even in the face of adversity, they were not alone. As the years passed, Sarah's children never forgot the lessons learned during that harsh winter. They carried with them the memory of their mother's unwavering love, her quiet strength, and her unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. They learned that true wealth wasn't measured in material possessions, but in the richness of relationships, the warmth of shared experiences, and the enduring power of love. And they, in turn, strive to live their lives with the same quiet dignity, compassion, and unwavering generosity that their mother had shown them. Sarah, her hair now streaked with silver, her face etched with the passage of time, watched her children with a heart overflowing with pride. She had given them all she had, not in material wealth, but in the invaluable currency of love, empathy, and resilience. And in their eyes, she saw her legacy reflected back at her, a legacy woven not in gold or silver, but in the enduring threads of kindness, selflessness, and love. The days grew shorter, mimicking the dwindling hope in young Thomas's heart. He was Sarah's youngest, once brimming with laughter, now shrouded in silence. His boundless energy had waned, replaced by listlessness. He wandered through their home, a ghost in his own life. Sarah felt the shift, a storm brewing beneath his quiet exterior. She knew words would be met with silence, so she waited, armed with infinite patience. She continued her routines, searching for the key to unlock his silence. She knew beneath his pain lay a spark waiting to be rekindled. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of bruised orange and deep purple, Sarah found Thomas by the old oak tree at the edge of their yard. It was their place, a sanctuary where secrets were shared and dreams were woven under the watchful gaze of the ancient oak. He sat with his back against the rough bark, his knees drawn to his chest, his gaze fixed on some distant point beyond the horizon. Sarah approached him silently, her steps light on the dew-kissed grass, her presence a gentle breeze rather than a raging storm. She sat beside him, her silence speaking volumes in the space between them. No words were exchanged, no explanations demanded. She simply offered him her presence, a warm embrace against the chill of his loneliness. As the twilight deepened, painting the world in shades of grey, Sarah pulled out her mending, her needle moving rhythmically through the worn fabric of Thomas's shirt. It was a gesture that spoke of healing, of mending not just cloth, but also the frayed edges of a young heart. The silence stretched between them, no longer a barrier, but a bridge. Thomas felt the warmth of his mother's presence, the rhythm of her needle pulling thread through fabric. He knew she understood without words. Her silence held no judgment, only love. Beneath the old oak tree, a healing balm began to soothe his spirit. As the moon replaced the sun, casting long, silvery fingers through the leaves of the old oak tree, Thomas began to speak. His words, hesitant at first, tumbled out in a torrent of emotion, a mixture of confusion, hurt, and a longing for something he couldn't quite articulate. He spoke of friendships that felt strained, of dreams that seemed increasingly out of reach, of the overwhelming feeling that he was alone in a world that seemed to spin faster than he could keep up. And through it all, Sarah listened, her ears attuned to the whispers of his heart, absorbed his words, not as a judge or a problem solver, but as a witness to his pain. She offered no platitudes, no empty reassurances, only the unwavering presence of her love, a safe harbor in the storm of his adolescence. As he spoke, pouring out the contents of his heart, Thomas felt a shift within him, the act of sharing his burdens, even without the expectation of solutions, seemed to lessen their weight. The knowledge that he was loved unconditionally, that his pain was heard and acknowledged, began to chip away at the wall of silence he had built around himself. The night wore on, the moon their silent companion, as Thomas's words slowly subsided. He had spoken his truth, laid bare the vulnerabilities of his young heart, and in doing so had taken the first step towards healing. They walked back towards their home, hand in hand, their silence now a comfortable space filled with understanding and love. The storm within Thomas had not vanished, but its intensity had lessened, soothed by the unwavering presence of his mother's love. Sarah knew that life would continue to throw challenges their way, that there would be other storms to weather, other heartaches to mend. But she also knew that the bond they had forged under the watchful gaze of the old oak tree, a bond built on love, empathy, and the power of truly listening, would carry them through. For in that shared silence, in the simple act of being present for her son, Sarah had given him the greatest gift a mother can offer, the unwavering assurance that he was loved, valued, and never truly alone. Years drifted by like fallen leaves on a gentle stream. Sarah's children grew, their lives branching out, forever intertwined by their shared past. They carried within them the warmth of her love, guiding their steps. Mary became a teacher, her classroom a haven for those seeking knowledge. Her gentle nature echoed Sarah's quiet strength. Thomas found his voice through music. His melodies spoke of resilience and beauty in darkness. Their successes were a testament to Sarah's belief in them. They learned true wealth is in relationships and love. Life had presented Sarah with challenges, yet she faced each one with quiet dignity. Her spirit unbroken, her heart a wellspring of love. She lived simply, yet possessed a wealth money couldn't buy. Her legacy was woven from everyday moments and small acts of kindness. Her children carried her legacy forward, teaching empathy and kindness. Sarah's love spread outward, touching generations, a testament to a mother's heart. In a world often obsessed with material wealth, Sarah's life served as a poignant reminder that true riches are found not in what we possess, but in who we are and how we love. Her story transcended the boundaries of time and circumstance, offering a timeless message of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of love. She had shown that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit could triumph, that love could bloom in the most unexpected places, and that a mother's heart, filled with unwavering devotion, had the power to change the world, one act of kindness at a time. Her life challenged us to look beyond the superficial, to reevaluate our own definitions of success and happiness. It encouraged us to seek out the extraordinary in the ordinary, to find joy in the simplest of moments, and to recognize that true wealth lies not in what we accumulate, but in what we give away. Sarah's story wasn't a fairy tale, but rather a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit, a testament to the power of love to overcome adversity and leave an imprint on the world long after we are gone. Sarah's story wasn't confined to the walls of her humble home. It resonated with a universal truth, a truth that transcended cultural differences, socio-economic barriers, and geographical boundaries. It spoke to the very essence of what it meant to be human, to love and be loved, to find strength in adversity, and to leave the world a little brighter than we found it. Her life was a testament to the power of the human heart, a heart capable of immense love, unwavering compassion, and extraordinary resilience. It was a reminder that even in a world often driven by self-interest, there was still room for kindness, for empathy, for the simple yet profound act of caring for one another. Sarah's story invited us to tap into that universal language of the heart, a language that transcended words and spoke through acts of kindness, gestures of love, and the unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. It was a language understood by all, regardless of background or circumstance, a language that had the power to bridge divides, heal wounds, and remind us of our shared humanity. And so we bid farewell to Sarah, a woman whose life, though seemingly ordinary, shone with an extraordinary light. She was a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of love, and a reminder that true wealth is measured not in possessions but in the legacy we leave behind. Her heart, a heart of gold, touched the lives of all who knew her, leaving an imprint that time could not erase. She taught us that love conquers all, that kindness matters, and that a mother's love, pure and unwavering, has the power to change the world. As we reflect on her life, let us carry her lessons with us, allowing her story to inspire us to live our own lives with greater purpose, compassion, and love. For in the end, it is not what we have, but who we are and how we love that truly matters.